Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Nothing But Reds, the Liverpool podcast where we discuss nothing but Liverpool FC from the American viewpoint. And join with me, as always, via audio today, Stephen Norbury. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on? Same old on my end. How you been?
Good. You've been following what's been going on this week, man? It's been some exciting stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, because you got the World Cup going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool to see the Liverpool players do well. I mean, Lovren's playing well. Henderson's just all over the place. He's playing his ass off, and then
He really is. Yeah.
Trent's not getting much playing time,
but I
Firmino
mean,
gets put in late in the game and scores one the other day and made my day.
How about that? Yeah, I read there was a stat going out there. It was Jesus 368 minutes, I think, and no goals or one goal, and then
zero goals.
Shots on goal. Yeah. And then it was Firmino, and it was like 30 minutes, 2 appearances, one goal already. I mean, he scored in like the 88th minute. I'm not exactly sure of the stats, but they should have started him from the jump street.
Yeah, they're not even starting him. I think it's tomorrow.
Yeah.
The coach came out and said he's sticking with the same lineup.
Okay.
It doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense, but let's move on to the topic at hand, LFC. So, pre-season is starting. It's approaching fast. I really didn't even realize that we have a game this Saturday, I think it is. We have a game Saturday.
Yep.
Friendly. So, the news that Klopp has come out with, we've seen him do it in the 2 pre-seasons before. He usually plays a first half squad, and then he'll go and switch it up completely, a new 11 even for the second half. So that's what he's going to do against Chester on Saturday. He's got a first half squad and then a second half squad. I'm assuming the first half squad is going to be more the young guys, and then I think he's going to try to integrate the older guys in the second half. That's what I think what's going to happen. Additionally, these guys aren't really in that great of shape yet. They just started. I think today was like the 3rd or 4th day of training. So if you've seen the videos, Klopp had them do the blood lactate run to start out, to get back to kind of assess where they're at. They did some FMS, some functional movement screening, and they're really just going through light training. I mean, they don't even have shin guards on or anything like that, but I know you saw the video. Milner, he won I guess you could call it the pacer or the blood lactate run. But that's insane, man. I mean, when you look at that, what do you see? What does that tell you when your 32-year-old midfielder is finishing first and outrunning everyone else?
I don't think that's a knock on anyone else. I just think that's James Milner. He's just not even a human being. He's just a beast.
Yeah, I completely agree.
He's the workhorse. He's so valuable to have on a team because you can play him in like 4 or 5 different positions, maybe even more. And he's going to give you blood, sweat, and tears no matter what, whether it's for 100 minutes or it's for 2 minutes.
No, I completely agree. I mean, to me, it's all about leading by example. And when he goes out there, first day of training, after a very good season, he could have very easily nonchalantly gone through that running routine, just kind of when he got tired, dropped out, but he kept going. And I think the young guys, because the young guys are with the first team now. They're trying to earn their spot for the rest of the season. So when they see Milner doing that, I think it really sends the message that if you work hard, good things will happen in the first team, as far as for the young guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think it's really good. I was excited to see that. I know we were talking before this, and you said that you didn't see Salah's video that he put out to the public after he signed his new contract. Is that right?
I actually just watched it.
You
right
just
before,
watched it.
We got on the line. Yeah.
So what'd you think?
I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
It was scripted, obviously, but maybe it wasn't. I don't know, but I mean, he's just such a good human being.
Yeah, it's hard to tell when foreign guys. Or not foreign guys, but guys with accents are talking. It's hard to tell if it's scripted or not, because normally you can tell by like the way they say it,
right.
But yeah, to your point, I mean, really just a great guy, and I think from a fan's perspective, when a fan sees that video, they really just think, wow, okay, they're serious. They're not worried about losing them to Madrid or Barcelona or anything like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, some details about the contract: 5 years, no release clause, which is good. Although I think even if they put a release clause in there, it would have been minimum 300 million. I mean,
Right.
So either way they would have made money. So no release clause is good. The rumored wage is 200,000 a week, which places him the highest earner currently at the club. With
highest earner ever, I believe.
Ever, yeah.
Yeah.
I did read that. It's amazing. 200,000. I mean,
and that puts him still like 150,000 behind Sanchez. I think maybe Ozil and Kane. He's like very, very far behind those guys still, but
I think
him in the top 10 of the league.
Okay, so 200,000 I actually wouldn't have guessed that, but
it might even be more. It might be like 220.
It potentially. I'm sure we don't know the exact details of everything, but
right.
To my knowledge, this contract that Kane signed, the extension, was worth the same amount, 200,000 a week.
Oh, okay, all right.
To my knowledge,
Sanchez makes 350 a week.
See, that's just nuts.
Which is just absurd.
It's an absurd amount of money for his production.
That's twice the amount of money that Virgil van Dijk makes. He makes 180, I believe.
That's crazy.
So Alexis Sanchez makes twice as Van Dijk.
And
just
probably
to put it in perspective,
contributes half as much to the team.
If that.
Yeah. So I just think that going in to this season, this is exactly what you want to see on the first day of training camp, is that your best player signs a new extension.
Exactly.
And Klopp came out with a quote. It's pretty good. I'll read it off. And I think it was the first time where I read a quote or heard a quote, and I really thought to myself, that is the perfect. Let me just read it off, and then you'll know what I'm saying. But Klopp, we want.
Okay.
Here we go. So quote: "We want world-class talent to see they have a home here at Anfield, where they can fulfill all their professional dreams and ambitions. We are working hard together to achieve this." And I think before I read that, or when I read that, I was thinking to myself, that's exactly the transition we were talking about last podcast from Liverpool being a developmental club that other teams come in and buy from to a destination. And how we become a destination club is we have big players, like Klopp said, realize that they can fulfill all their professional desires, whether it be trophies or winning the Premier League title, whatever it is, at Liverpool, as opposed to a United or an Arsenal or a Man City or a Chelsea. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think it really hit home for me. I mean, hearing that, I'm not sure if you read it before, but hearing that, how do you feel? What's your opinion on that? Do you think that's an accurate quote?
No, I actually did already read that. And I think he said a few things like that last year, especially during like the Coutinho thing, or maybe in the aftermath of the Coutinho saga. But yeah, it's an accurate quote.
Yeah.
I think if you look at like Suarez and Coutinho, I mean, big players leave all the time.
All the time, and
it's
either because of money or a change of scenery. You know what I mean?
Right, and we only think about it from the Liverpool standpoint for the most part, and like we think about how it makes us feel when a Liverpool player leaves.
Exactly.
But on the other hand, Mohamed Salah left Roma, came to us. So fans and supporters and other clubs go through the same thing. There's definitely there's a bad taste in our mouths just because some of the best players we've had over the last 6-8 years have left. In particular, obviously, Coutinho and Suarez. But I think it's just part of the business. It's a business. So
yeah, and sometimes I have to remind myself of that. It is a business. I mean,
think a big part.
Did we lose you? Oh, okay. Hold on one sec. You're cutting in and out. All right. Hold on. Go ahead and.
Can you hear me now?
think. Yeah. I got you back. So you left off. Go ahead.
Okay. So I think a big part of that quote has to do with the Coutinho saga. and not even really so much the Suarez saga because Jurgen Klopp wasn't around for that. But what he says is 100% accurate. And I think most players do understand that you can fulfill your professional dreams and ambitions, or however he put it, at Liverpool, or one of the biggest clubs in the world. But based on recent events, it might seem otherwise.
Sure.
So
no, you're right.
We need to win trophies.
We do, and we need.
That's what it comes down to.
Either
a trophy or 2 or 10.
Seriously, and we should already have 2 European trophies under Klopp. I cannot. It drives me nuts that Klopp's record in finals is 0-6. I mean, that just drives me nuts because a Klopp side can beat any team in the world on any given day. Any given day. I mean, it doesn't matter. And then you put them in a final.
Right.
I don't know what happened, man. But yeah, it comes down to we need to win trophies. And thinking about the players required to win a trophy. Are you comfortable with, I mean, have you had time to accept the fact that Loris Karius is going to be number 1 again? Because me, personally, and we talked about this before and on like previous podcasts, but he really, aside from the final, didn't give us any reason to doubt him. You understand?
Right.
He was a good keeper. And I have a stat that kind of brings that into perspective for some of the fans that are talking negative about him or are very upset that he's starting, which I really do not understand. I think, why are you upset that Karius is better than Mignolet, and we had Mignolet starting for 3 or 4 straight seasons? I mean, it's kind of bugs me. But to put this into perspective, so here is a stat. All right.
Save percentage?
Yes, that one.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's a good one. And just for people who haven't listened to it, or haven't heard it or seen it, Karius had a higher save percentage at 68.9% compared to both Ederson and Thibaut Courtois, who had 68.3% and 68.5% respectively. Now, that's only 0.6, 0.4 difference. But when you compare him to both of those keepers, Ederson had an amazing year. And you can look at a bunch of other variables, like, was it the defense that he saw more or less shots than, say, a City did because City was always attacking, or, Chelsea didn't play the same style of football, so they saw more shots per game. I mean, you can look at all those variables, but on the surface, this is a really telling stat, and I think it definitely summarizes Karius as a keeper.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm not mad that he's going to be the number 1. However, I do know that if we come out the first, half of the season before January break and he stinks the place up, if he's just terrible and he's costing us games, then we're just going to have to break the bank.
Well, of course. I mean, that goes with any keeper or any player for that matter.
Yeah, I mean, it's like this is his last chance. That's what it is.
Yep. That's just facts.
It's sad because it's only because of one game. But
yeah,
it's the truth.
Yeah. I mean, to kind of change sports, but I mean, it's definitely not as bad. I mean, or it's definitely worse. But you look at J.R. Smith and that ridiculous that people will remember that for the rest of his entire life. They'll be like, "Yo, you messed up in the finals or the Eastern Conference Finals." I mean, what an idiot. You know what I mean? But that's neither here nor there. I just think I'm excited to see Karius get another chance to prove people wrong. I mean, and that's got to make you hungry as a player too.
Oh, for sure. I mean, he's ready to go.
Yes.
From my understanding, he's a hard worker. He's a good teammate. From what I can tell, so
yeah.
Klopp likes him. That's why he brought him in. And the fact that, I mean, I kind of like that we're not spending big money on a keeper because, let's face it, Alisson led up how many goals to us in that one game? 5?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, come on.
We
scored like 12 goals on Ederson in 4 games this year.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, like anybody can get burnt as a goalkeeper. Those 2 mistakes, those don't happen. That's not. Let's just hope they don't happen again. And chances are that they won't. Mistakes like that won't happen again. I've never seen anything like that before in my life.
Yeah. That was definitely an isolated incident and such a rare incident. Yeah. If it happens again, though, there's a serious problem. Yeah. Bye-bye. So, amid all that talk, there's also the continuing transfer talk. There's a few names I want to throw out there just because we've been linked with them, of course. You got Mina, the Colombian guy.
Gary Mina.
Yeah. We're being linked with him, but I'm hearing loan talk for a season. And we've been linked with him before, and it's been for loan. So I'm thinking Klopp is comfortable with his defense. I think once he got Van Dijk in, that really made not only him and the team, but the fans completely comfortable with the defense, right? And Lovren is just getting better and better every time I watch him play. I mean, good for him, because he struggled too. But and then Clavin, he's obviously back, but he's comfortable enough with the team to say, I don't need to buy a whole new center back. I just need to bring in someone on loan. Personally, though, I haven't seen. What is his name exactly? Mina. I haven't seen him play too much, but from my understanding, I mean,
he's just a huge player. He's like 6'5".
Oh, geez, 6'5".
Wins headers in the box.
Yeah. That's big. That's big. We don't really, until Van Dijk came, we didn't really have a big aerial presence per se.
Right.
So, yeah, I think that's a big thing. You're right. Van Dijk does not miss challenges in the air, ever. He wins them all.
Nope.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Now, so talk of him. There's also talk of a wonder kid from Ajax, 16-year-old right back / center back. Not positive of his name right now. I can't remember off the top of the head, but I wasn't going into detail about these guys anyway. I just wanted to bring them up. And then I've heard we were linked with Buffon, but it looks like he's going to sign for PSG. The big one, obviously, Fekir. I'm not going to milk that one again. I'm just going to wait to see how that one plays out. But Shaqiri, quotes have come out. I mean, once Switzerland lost, he was asked, and essentially he said, which makes complete sense. I was focused on my national team. I was focused on selection. I wasn't worried about anything else. But now that I'm out, you guys will find out my club soon. And, dude, he hasn't been linked with anybody else but Liverpool.
Yeah, I think there was some random knee-jerk linkings when he scored that winner.
Of course,
but that's
how
it happens.
That's how it happens. You have one good game. Look at
all of a sudden saying, "Oh yeah."
Exactly. Look at Kasper Schmeichel. He had a great game for Denmark, and Liverpool are linked with him the next day. I mean, any goalkeeper that has a good game is going to get linked. It's just how it works. It's just, I guess that's part of the fun of the transfer window, though. Like who's going to be linked today?
Absolutely.
But
now I think Shaqiri's coming. Personally,
right?
I'm not gonna get my hopes up for it because I mean he is what he is. But I mean on his day he's a really tough player to defend. He's small, and I don't think he'll find his way in the starting 11 much.
Right.
But you just have to anticipate injuries and rest days for guys like Salah, Mane. I mean, we don't need to run those guys into the ground this year. I mean, unfortunately, you play your best players more often than not when it matters. But I could see him being a guy that plays in FA Cup games or comes in the 60th minute every game or every other game or whatever the case may be, especially considering you got guys like Lallana that have turned out to be injury prone. You know what I mean.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying, and I completely agree. I think he's going to be a cover guy, a guy they bring in to rest a Mane or a Salah or whoever ends up playing up front. And
and the other thing is we're still waiting for Oxlade-Chamberlain. We can't forget about that.
Oh,
I keep forgetting about that.
I never forget about that guy. I mean,
yeah.
he was such a difference maker once he hit stride. I can't even get over it. I mean, he's ahead of, well, with Keita and Fabinho coming in, if Oxlade's healthy, Oxlade is, with Fabinho and Keita, I think he's first choice midfield. He has to be, with how he was playing. If he can return to form.
Attacking mid?
Yeah, left side, left center mid, or depending on the formation he plays, that Klopp decides to play. But going back to Shaqiri, the more I watch him, the more I like him. He's a very one-sided football player, and I think that's why he is a backup guy. Not only that, but I mean, he only has a 13.5 million release clause. I think that Stoke getting relegated had something to do with that. I think it would have been higher if they stayed up, you know what I mean? But if Klopp brings him in, I expect him to play a lot more than we think he's going to play, because he's probably going to be a sub guy. You know what I mean? I mean, if you look at when he brought Chamberlain in, Chamberlain started out as a substitute guy, coming on in the 70th, the 80th minute, until he got up to speed, until he started to get good form. And I think Shaqiri is going to be the same exact way. He's going to come on for either Mane or Salah, depending on who's having a bad game or who is tired or whatever. He's going to come on for them.
Right.
And honestly, man, I'm happy that he's a left-footed player, by the way, and that he's just quick. He's small. He's like 5'6", 5'7". I mean, he's super small, super quick. It
just makes us that much harder to guard.
That's right.
That much tougher to defend.
That's right. We don't sacrifice anything if we take Mane and Salah or Mane or Jesus.
I mean, if your second choice winger is Xherdan Shaqiri, you're in pretty good shape.
Yeah, you're doing something right. That's for sure.
Yeah, or third choice winger, whatever.
Yeah, whatever it comes to be. I'm excited to find this out. I think I was listening to another podcast, but there was a report saying that within 7 days, Shaqiri would probably be announced as a Liverpool player. I don't know how I feel personally about that timeline, but man, I think he's going to end up signing. I mean, I'll be very surprised if he doesn't.
Yeah. We have nothing to lose.
No, absolutely not. We have everything to gain. Everything to gain.
At the very least, it's just squad depth with experienced squad depth.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
That's what it is.
Now, so as far as material goes, we run through it all. But let's close it out here. Let me ask you: going to be watching the game on Saturday?
I will not be watching the game on Saturday. I don't think. Now that could change, but I'll definitely follow it.
Yeah, of course.
And try to check the highlights out later.
Yeah, of course.
I'll be interested to see who plays and whatnot.
Sure. I mean, those preseason games, I can't blame you anyway, because normally I have to stream them. They may be on like BT Sport or some channel.
You can purchase LFC TV on the Liverpool website,
and they play all. They do play preseason.
$99 a month.
They do play the preseason. Okay. Okay. Because I'm
pretty sure they play all of them.
I'm probably going to have to do that, because right now I just had the NBC Sports Gold or whatever, which was honestly a bad investment, because every single Liverpool game this season was on TV. I mean,
I bought it as well. It was a horrible investment.
I
used it for one game.
What, the very first game, the very like second game I used it.
Second and third game.
That's so funny. Yeah, man. But I kind of think the same. I'm going to try to watch it. I'm going to try to scout out the young guys. I cannot wait to see Fabinho and Keita play. I think that's the main reason I want to watch it, is to see them play. Yeah.
I could see this being one of those games where Fabinho and Keita play a little bit, but like one of them scores, and it's just really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, this Chester is a sixth tier. Sixth?
So they're not professional.
Sixth. I mean, they're a professional club, I guess, but they're in the sixth tier.
Jesus.
Yeah, so they're really low. But I think all the proceeds from ticket sales, I think we're donating all of it to them.
Oh, I like that. I did see that. I did see that. That's awesome. Wow, did not know that. That's interesting stuff. But anyways, I think we touched on a lot of good stuff today. I think after the Chester game, we can discuss how the players did, what we saw as far as development goes for the youth guys, and then also by that time, hopefully we'll have Jirdan Shaqiri as a new Liverpool player. But thanks for joining us, guys. Until next time, have a good one.